Under Depths of Fear has its own unique collectibles you can find during gameplay. Before I spoil the exact locations of the slides, this is your obvious spoiler warning. These small projector slides are a bit tough to find at times, but this video will help you locate all 10 hidden slides. On screen is a list of the levels and the amount of slides per level. Use this if you still wish to do your own hunting for the slides. From start to finish, the first slide is located soon after waking up in the ward. After rehydrating, stick to the left wall to find the first slide on the bottom bunk. In the belly, reach the end of the level, and before entering the room with all the levers, look left to find a slide sitting on the empty shelves next to the breakable door. Upon reaching G-Deck, proceed until you reach the kitchen. Head right instead of left and peer closely at the stovetop. The slide is camouflaged on the dark tops. The second slide on this level is located in the flooded halls just further ahead. In the same room as the always behind you note is the fourth slide sitting on the sink to the right of the door. Immediately upon entering F-Deck, the third changing room on the left holds the fifth slide. Further into the level, you'll lock the entity out of the room you are standing in. Proceed further in until you reach a dinner table. On the right is a dresser, and in the left drawer is the second slide of the level. On E-Deck, play the gramophone, read the note, stand in the hall, and then enter the now unblocked doorway. Wait until the far door is unlocked, and on the square crate straight ahead is the seventh slide. Ascend the stairs to DC Deck, and solve the green door puzzle. Enter the code to the door and crawl through the vent. To the right of the stairs is the next slide sitting on the bench. Continue through to C Deck and descend the stairs back to D Deck. Enter the combination and continue through the water puzzle. When you reach the section with 4 breakable doors, the one on the right has the 9th slide. Finally, head right as soon as you reach the final deck to find the last slide sitting on a table. Exit through the door or quit to the menu to find the Memoir is now unlocked.
Pictured here in Ballater, Scotland, 1916, patient Alexander Doctor before enlistment. Observed to be seated at a table with his father, Herbert Doctor. In retrospect, patient demonstrated early signs of discontent with his station in life. Concerning the war effort, patient exhibited no interest in fulfilling his duty, unlike other young men that willingly enlisted. Early summer 1917, patient Doctor pictured by family standing in front of a recruitment station in Ballater, Scotland. Captured mere moments after enlisting, according to personal record. Hesitant and reluctant to have done so. Patient was now officially bound to head to combat. His facial expressions show us a man far away from reality. even before his fight. Perhaps a dreamer, a man away from society. Summer 1917. Patient is standing in front of the family farmhouse alongside his father. Wearing both uniform and helmet, patient was to join troop transport the following day. Still reluctant, still unhappy to be heading to the front lines. Patient later clarified life in Scotland was no joy, but was truly heaven compared to the horrors witnessed at the front. Front lines, Messines, summer 1917. Patient is pictured here with members of his platoon. Pictured left to right, Alfred Clark. Patient Alexander Doctor, Commanding Officer Davies, and Lewis Thompson. All of these men, except for Alexander, perished in the attack over no man's land. According to letters obtained from families of the deceased, it was clear that Patient was outside of his platoon's liking. The only man Alexander remained on good terms with was Lewis Thompson. The day prior to his platoon's over-the-top charge, one of the patient's unit members was shot dead as he peered over the top of the trenches. It was reported that patient was in close proximity to this incident. Likely, witnessing this event only added to his well-documented lack of courage and hysterical fear of combat. Patient pictured at start of over-the-top charge. Patient refused orders to follow his platoon members. According to reports, patient was to offer support fire while his platoon charged ahead. Patient remained in a crouched position, crying and offering no response to orders, even while threatened at gunpoint by his commanding officer. Eventually, Davies knocked the patient unconscious and joined in the charge, resulting in his own death. After the disastrous attack, patient was sedated and transported to the isolation ward on the military-commissioned RMS Validus. Pictured here, the patient is waiting for his second life act procedure, a state-of-the-art neurological attempt to transform cowardly impulses into courageous behavior. As can be observed, the patient appears nervous and unwilling to voluntarily submit to the procedure. Pictured here, the patient's response to procedure. Reaction is severely negative, and patient is left in a nearly animalistic state of mind. Patient is severely paranoid, believing that platoon members have been brought back to life to take revenge on him for his battlefield cowardice. Most likely, unsuccessful second life act procedure in combination with severe guilt complex has pushed patient into a permanent state of delirium. Directly after the RMS Validus was struck by torpedo on the night after the procedure, patient was temporarily left in the ward section while priority transports and crew members were evacuated to boat deck. After the last lifeboat was prepared for departure, a small team was sent down to retrieve the last patient, Alexander Doctor. According to witnesses, the ward was flooded beyond entrance, and patient was found in first-class corridors in a state of severe panic and delirium. Pictured here is the patient running in a flooded corridor before attempting to assault one of the crew members. Patient was knocked out, sedated, and transported off the sinking vessel. After the patient was evacuated off the vessel, he was declared mentally unfit for trial as a result of an unsuccessful second life act. The patient was remanded to an asylum and underwent extensive interviews and mental analysis. Patient is pictured here in present day, 1937, 20 years after the event. Patient still claims he is stuck on the RMS Validus as it takes on water and complains of his platoon members haunting him to this day. With no progress made and no prognosis of ever achieving even a remotely successful recovery, patient will remain in the asylum for the remainder of his days.